The volunteer group Boston Cares is calling for service and teamwork. To tell us what's planned this summer for its TeamWorks program are the Senior Program Manager at Boston Cares, Emily Rackleff, and the Program Development Coordinator with AmeriCorps VISTA, Orláith Duggan. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you.
I want to start with Emily. Start with the summer programs and summer service. Who are we talking about?
Sure. So this is our 25th anniversary year at Boston Cares, and we're celebrating our march towards 1 million hours we should complete in our 25 years of being an active organization, volunteer mobilizer in the greater Boston area. We're going to hit our millionth hour of service this year. So to help us get there, do the final push, we're celebrating our Summer of Service, which invites Boston Cares volunteers to get out, and new volunteers who want to join us, to get out, do 5 projects, and then we're going to wrap it up with a block party at the end of August. So it runs from June 1st to August 31st, and we'll have a big block party, big celebration. All the volunteers get out and can do all sorts of different service projects. At Boston Cares, we have about 180 different nonprofit partners that we work with, and it's everything from tutoring to meal service to stocking food pantries to environmental cleanups or working in the rose garden. So it's really anything that you are interested in as a volunteer you can do, and if you do those 5 projects, you'll get a free t-shirt and a big celebration at the Boston Cares block party.
So I want to make sure, when you say 5 projects, you're asking each volunteer to take on 5?
Exactly, yeah.
And what about the age groups you're thinking of here?
It's open to all ages, so we have youth and family programming. We have volunteers as young as 5, and as, any ages are welcome to join us.
Well, what about the TeamWorks? This sounds new to me. Explain how this works.
So TeamWorks is on a seasonal cycle, so right now we're just recruiting for our summer cycle, and it's for individual volunteers 18 and up to join a group of 6 to 10 other volunteers. And you serve on a team, and each team has its own theme, our social issue that it is centered around. So we do have a Summer of Service team. We also have a Green Thumb team if you're interested in environmental projects. Or in the past we've had Historical Boston team or Books for Boston team. So they all center around a social issue. And teams also do service learning components with their projects as well. So they serve on 5 projects over the series of about 8 weeks or so.
Right. This is BNN News. We're talking with Emily Rackleff of Boston Cares and Orláith Duggan of AmeriCorps VISTA. Orláith, what about the kinds of things that people get from getting involved in these projects that you just talked about?
With TeamWorks, it's a great chance to grow your network of volunteers and get to know the communities that you're serving, as well as the site partners and the organizations, which is a great way to get involved and grow that network.
What about the environmental team, for instance? What are they going to be doing?
Well, we actually have 2 environmental teams this summer. One will be focusing on garden spaces, so they'll be at Shawmut Garden, the Southwest Corridor Park, and a few other locations. And then we also have a Parks and Recs team that will be focusing more on landscaping and environmental projects. They'll be serving at Revere Beach, helping to clean up the beach for sea turtle environments, as well as serving at the Rose Garden along the Greenway.
Hey. Coming back to Emily, another part of the summer here is something that's been going on for a while, the MLK Scholars. Talk about, these are students in the Boston schools, I think, right?
Yep, exactly. So the MLK Summer Scholars Program is a really amazing summer jobs program that's run by John Hancock, Partners Healthcare, Boston University, the City of Boston, and the Boston Globe. And they provide summer jobs. There's, I think, this year over 65 different nonprofit organizations are able to hire students for the summer to serve in sort of whatever capacity that organization needs. They're all Boston Public School students, as you mentioned, and then on Fridays they do professional development workshops right here at Agganis Arena, actually. And it's a really incredible day. You have over 600 students who come in for these workshops. This year they're focusing on your assets, your community, your health, and then there's always a big talent show at the end, which is really incredible. So we look for volunteers to help us as table facilitators or table mentors to really work with these students at the table. Obviously, if you have 600 students in a room, it's much easier to have a conversation with just 10 of them. And so our volunteers sit at those tables. They really have a guided conversation with the students. And it's a really incredible day. So it's, again, focusing around your health, your community, your assets, which is working with Invest in Girls on sort of how to
if I
save for
recall, that
college.
the partners make it possible for these young people to get some pay for this too.
Yep, exactly. They're all paid, and it's a.
But I imagine even more important than the money is that you have people who maybe live in one little world at their school, and now they're getting they're just going through the door to other worlds and other people.
Yeah, exactly. It gets them into. They get to come and see BU. They get to see the Agganis Arena. They get to meet all of these other students who are working at other nonprofit organizations. They get to learn about the other organizations throughout Greater Boston, and then they get to have conversations with their table facilitators. So see what our volunteers do professionally, what sort of experiences they bring, and what brought them to Boston. And so it really expands the scholars networks as well as the volunteers networks.
Orláith, what about the time that you need from people? People who want to get involved in one of these TeamWorks projects. See, I know you mentioned certain number of times they go out and do something, but really how much of their time, let's say in a week or a month, does this take?
Well, it's over the 5 projects that you commit to serving on are over a series of about 6 to 8 weeks or so. And the time of projects can vary. None are really more than 4 hours or so. So they can vary from 2 to 4 hours. So yeah, it's not a very large commitment, but it's a great way to get started in volunteering with Boston Cares and sample our projects.
Yeah. And I guess in some ways this provides some experience that people can use to either pursue jobs or even just to get more focused on their career paths.
Absolutely. Actually, the majority of our volunteers, I would say, are on that job search, and it does build those skills. Responding to a need, like if you're in a soup kitchen and if the number of people changes, and that adaptability is definitely great in the job force and definitely transferable skills. And
finally, Emily, if people want some more information, where's the best place to look for that online?
Sure. You can go to www.bostoncares.org, and if you want to learn more about our Summer of Service, you can just do /Summer of Service.
All right, thank you both very much, Emily Rackleff and Orláith Duggan.